Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining in today. My name is Zanzi, and I am the host of the Showcase AMA series here on the Polygon Discord. Today, we have Marshall Chang. He's the CEO of IndexZoo with us. How are you doing today, Marshall?
I'm good, good. Yeah, instead of a CEO, kind of we call ourselves the zookeepers. So I'm kind of the head zookeeper. So yeah, same thing.
Okay, cool. All right, we got the head zookeeper here with us today. That's super exciting. Really happy to have you here. Um, so yeah, we always like to kick things off doing introductions, like with a backstory. So, um, why don't you tell us a bit about your background, what you were doing before you got into crypto? What brought you into the space, and what ultimately got you involved with the IndexZoo platform.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so like many of you, we are very much into trading. So our core team, we actually come from traditional finance. I have a background in quant trading and machine learning development. And prior to Do, we actually had a company that trades foreign exchange markets, and we do algorithmic trading development for other hedge funds. My core teams are a team of researchers and people who have experience, such as actually had a co-founder that I used to work at the Federal Reserves. I have teams that works on the sell side, like Deutsche Bank, Citibanks. So just a bunch of folks together who are really into coding and trading. And we did FX trading for a while. We did okay, but really got into the crypto rabbit hole around DeFi summer. Even prior to that, had some experience with centralized exchange trading, just Bitcoins. But DeFi really showed me like what's possible for just to have everything done on the blockchain and just be able to trust the smart contracts to do everything. Back then there was the like lending like makers, those just got started. But we started to like gradually started to see the future of trading on chain, even doing like large scale investments on chain. um, yeah, so that's how we really got into it. And the project Index Zoo was actually initially the idea, the whole reason we call it Index Zoo is because we wanted to build um, the leverage tokenized ETFs. So, namely the bear and the bull token. Because at the time we were trying to find ways to, hedge against, the market downturns natively on chain. But there weren't really that much options. So we wanted to build the leverage tokens, the bear and the bull. And after that, we realized that if you look at DeFi asset management as a whole, indexing that'll be an entirely new space to its own, and it's going to be just like TradFi indexing. That's it's catered towards people who wanted to diversify, who wanted to have products like leverage tokens that give them easy exposures, those type of products. And it has been huge, in TradFi in terms of just ETFs. And we wanted to start building that for blockchains, and especially after last year, it's about multi-chain. Hence, we launched the project Index Zoo. It just initially just bear and the bull, and then going forward, probably all kinds of other animals that represents the type of product they are. So yeah, long story short, we launched a little bit towards the late of last year. Actually got to know Polygon like is as our first chain that that supported us. So it's the first chain that we started developing on. And fast forward to now, we're close to launching the Bear and the Bull at a very interesting market environment now. So hopefully it'll be something that you guys can find useful.
Cool. I really like the animal branding a lot. I'm wondering if we could like talk a bit more about the team behind the project. Like, how long have you guys? Sorry, when did you say you guys started working on this? And You mentioned the zookeepers. Like, could you tell me a bit more about the zookeepers? I
Yeah,
suppose.
sure. Yeah, so so prior to like we have been a team together since I think as early as 2017. Some of us were just college classmates, and so we went on to work on different firms in different aspect of finance. But got together, launched the trading firms in 2017. So we've been doing that since like for like about 2 years, and we still do some of the tradings because it's a prop trading firm. um and the project was IndexZoo was officially launched summer last year. Then we had a seed round towards the end of 2021, and then started to put more of the team together, getting more people that are native to Web3 contract development. But the core team was mainly me and Cam, who's used to work at the actually worked at the Federal Reserve as a research analyst. And we have a couple other teams who are traders and that has experience on the sell side, like investment banks. Um, yeah, so that's kind us. We mainly the founding team is mainly based on the East Coast. I'm personally actually in Boston, but our dev teams are really all over the place. We have people in Europe, in Asia, um, and yeah, so all in all, right now we have about 6 full-time team members, and it's been going great. I mean, it's hectic, but we're getting lots of things done. So hopefully, yeah, that's kind of the team.
Cool. Thanks for breaking that down. My cousin actually used to live in Boston. That's pretty exciting. I myself, I live in Canada, but anyways, what would you like say is the main value proposition of IndexZoo? Would it be fair to say that it would be to be able to make money in both like a bear market and a bull market, or like how would you put the value proposition?
Absolutely. Yeah. So to be able to give like it's so to be able to do that, like make money in both direction, be able to hedge against downturn for bear market, and when the bull comes, be able to leverage up and be able to do that everything entirely on chain. So that means the fully, the transparency, the it's non-custodial. You simply just buy and hold the token in your wallet to be able to do that. And that's also the main value proposition of such product, leverage tokens in comparison to, let's say, you want to trade derivatives that are entirely on chain. Some of them are entirely on chain as well, like DYDX. So the difference is actually the leverage token. You simply just buy the leverage token that either give you 3x or 5x exposure. And when you want to realize the profits or losses, you just simply sell that. There in between that, you don't have to worry about liquidations, margin costs, and things or fees with funding rates, things along those lines. It's all already taken care of for you in the backend. So I would summarize, the the value. It's really on-chain, easy access to leverage for both directions. And going forward, we'll be able to, just entirely opens the contracts up for customizations. So you could, create any sort of basket that's supported for any sort of leverage that's available. And that'll be great for people who wanted to build their own portfolio or their own wallets exposure with leverage.
So, how are these kinds of tokens constructed? What's the fee structure for them? How does this all work?
Yeah, so there's for our products, there's the 3x products and the 5x products. So we're launching with the 3x tokens, and these are enabled by lending protocols. So specifically, we're partnering with Aave. So if you guys are, in our Discord, in our social, you probably know that we actually recently got a grant from Aave DAO. So we what our product does is that it borrows on Aave to get the leveraged exposure, and it rebalances that exposures as people buy and sell the leverage token. So this would enable up to 3x leverage. And on top of that, so essentially, what you're paying for is a fee that's a management fee slash, or you can call it a streaming fee that is annualized. So 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 basically, and that's it. It's essentially that take care of the leveraging part, the rebalancing part, and essentially the gas fee as well. It's all into consideration. So that's the 3x leverage token. And then we also have a 5x leverage token coming, just for, it's for people who are really looking for like higher leverage. Um, so for the that's actually enabled by our contracts directly trading perpetual futures contracts, and it's also natively on chain. And we're building that with perpetual protocol. I know many of you have probably heard of them. They are, a great derivative leaders in DeFi. So that would actually enable us up to 5x leverage easily. The difference between the 3x and 5x, I would say it's the for the 3x, if you wanted to get the Ethereum token, Ethereum leverage token for long or short, that's probably going to be one of the most popular one. The good thing is you can directly mint that token with Ethereum. So if you already have the Ethereum in your wallet and you don't want to sell it, but you want to hedge against the bear market, you can use a portion of that to mint the 3x, leverage token. So be able to hedge with capital efficiency. Whereas the 5x token, it's all going to be settled into USDC. So that would actually be the main difference. Um, yeah. So all in all, yeah, that's what's behind the scenes. So Aave, they're like we picked Aave because not only because they're one of perhaps the biggest lending protocol out there, but also they were battle tested during just the last couple of months. Those high profile liquidations. It kind of shows that the smart contracts can be trusted. The infrastructure of DeFi has been battle tested in the downturn. So we really like that, and it gave us ton of scalabilities in terms of going to other chains, in terms of growing the TVL of the products. Yeah, so that's why we picked Aave, and I'm very glad that they have been supporting us as well.
Sweet. So I'm wondering if we'd want to jump into doing like a showcase of IndexZoo and visualize everything that you've been talking about so far.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I'm going to here share my screens. Yep. So we are very straightforward. If you go to our website, IndexZoo, um, and go right down, there's going to be our products. So I haven't talked about our different product groups. So other than the leverage tokens, we also have the ecosystem tokens, which is, or you could say like the index ETFs, like in the stock market. So what we're doing with the index token is we're doing it for different blockchains because we really believe in the future of a multi-chain Web3. So say for Polygon, um, we actually create the Polygon ecosystem index that caters to all the top projects that are native to the ecosystem. It has going to have a large percentage of Matic holding as well, but the composition it'll be the mandate, or we should say the mandate of the index is to let you have one index token that captures the growth of the whole ecosystem. So this will be the Polygon ecosystem index. And this obviously it applies to all the blockchains that we're supporting. Um, and next it'll be our leverage token. So if you go to our bear, it'll be the bear and the bull token. So these will what we're going to launch with it's the 3x bear and the bull token. Um, so it's going to be very straightforward for those of you who are wanting to try it. It's currently I'm afraid it's not live yet. So once our devs go on the live with the beta, so what you do is you're able to directly buy and sell the token on the supported dexes. And here with the front end, you can directly doing it here with the dex swap. Um, and at the same time, so by doing that, you can actually just be able to buy and sell with the USDC. And at the same time, you can also mint. So with the mint option, you will directly interact with our contracts. So this is actually catered towards large volumes because it did so it's actually back so that's actually why we picked Polygon because on Ethereum, if you wanted to mint the token, the gas fee will be actually quite high. So I actually forbidding people with anything other than like over 100K to be able to mint the leverage token with economic sense. So that's why we actually pick Polygon essentially with the gas fees. Yeah, so you're going to be able to buy directly on the dexes or you can mint. Um, and same with sell. So once you wanted to realize the profits or losses, you can sell it on the dexes or you can like redeem with our contracts. And that is really about it. We have the bear and the bull. It'll give you the long and short. Um, and yeah, so other than that, going forward, we do have some more stuff cooking right now. So namely, one of the things that we find to be very important for the current market is a volatility token. So this will be just like in the stock markets, you can trade long and short the market volatilities. That is oftentimes represented by an index. So we wanted to do the same thing with that in DeFi and also entirely on chain. So we're actually working with a couple of options protocol and trying to structure a natively on-chain volatility index, and that is tradable for any wallets. Um, and yeah, so that's that. Hopefully, this give you a brief like idea. Um, and I also want to say that want to share that we are also building a institutional trading portal for people for like the institutions that are moving large amounts on chain. And essentially, what it does is because these ETF products, it's highly customizable, and you can eventually be able to create your own index that is with or without leverage. So we're actually building a portal. Let me see if I can find it here. So for you to actually, create your own index, create your own leverage tokens. You can even set your own rebalancing schedule. I wouldn't get into too much of the weeds of that. But yeah, so we're basically the goal is to build products like the bear and the bull that's very much easy to use for anyone to be in DeFi to be able to hedge or speculate, but also build customized products for sophisticated traders and also crypto hedge funds that to be able to do their stuff on chain. Because overall, like if you think about the next phase for DeFi, it's really about moving like what's feasible, from the traditional market to be able to on-chain and completely decentralize that. And yeah, that's what I think what we are our goal is with the index or asset management space. Yeah, so hopefully this give you guys an overview. And I'll stop sharing my screen now.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for the presentation. Um, so what are some like so you're saying like anybody can will be able to create their own index token um, at some point in time. Do you think like I don't know, would you want to just like elaborate a bit more on that, like some potential use cases for that, like how you'd like to be seeing that utilized in the future?
Yes. Yeah. So the essentially just taking the example of the product that we're building with the Polygon ecosystem index. So that essentially what it does is we create a basket of tokens that we think it's that represents the core proposition of Polygon, and that has been native on Polygon. So the mandate is that it represents essentially so it gives the people easy access to the whole ecosystem. So that process is very much streamlined. So for any of you that wanted to create your customized portfolio, you by using the index token, it's actually a lot easier for you to manage because it has the built-in rebalancing mechanism in it. So let's say you really like the top five DeFi tokens plus a couple of GameFi tokens, something like that. You can just you can create an index token on top of that with our smart contracts, and then at the get-go, you can actually decide the composition percentage of each token, and then going forward, if you want to do rebalancing, you just input the the new value the composition, and then there's a trade function and be able to swap those tokens to the new, essentially do the rebalancing all within the contracts. So that token you can actually issue that, and then it's fully collateralized with the underlying basket. And if you have friends who wanted to essentially copy trading or social trading, they can just issue the token that you've already created, and you can, if there's more interest, you can even create a market on, for example, QuickSwap, and then be able to let people directly buy that token. So in that sense, the index token can be, it's kind of like some of other projects that are doing like social trading, like I know like DHedge. But the thing we like is that the index infrastructure, it's much more, I would say, like passive and for diversification compared with, say, like DHedge, which is more towards trading. Um, plus the smart contracts that we are building IndexZoo on top of on, it's called token sets. We actually are in their ecosystem as well, and we really like their infrastructure, which handles the mint, redemption, the creation of the index, and they've never been hacked. They are like one of the most battle-tested infrastructure. So it makes sense for us to also to just open the index creation to the users. Um, and Yeah, so that's like what we're seeing, because it'll be really cool if you can just create a exposure for any type of basket for your wallet, and then share with your friends, and just go from there.
Yeah, for sure. And then I'm thinking like some potentially like if any of these index tokens that people create get big enough, they could eventually have their own trading liquidity on other decentralized exchanges and even be like utilized as a form of collateral to borrow against. Would that be correct? Like hypothetically?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So um we've I- the we haven't seen that, even though we haven't seen that as of yet, but in the index space, no, many of you probably heard of the DeFi Pulse Index, which is the first one that was launched on Ethereum last year. They are like the first one who are already, I think they're, even though they're not able to be borrowed against, but they're actually already on some of the custodial platforms that can be bought and sold by the institutions who are trading with custodians. So I think the promises with DeFi is that you can, anyone can create those index, and if your products it's good enough and it will get picked up, you get a decent following, and you'll be able to just go from there. So for us, we're just building the infrastructures. We're to support that, and we're building some fundamental products like Bear and Bow that gives you passive leverage exposures. But after that, it's all about giving back to the community. And I guess I can kind of shed a little bit light on our IndexZoo DAO and our overall project tokenomics design. Um, so yeah, so essentially what we're doing differently is that all of the fees, either from the Bear, the index, or any products that our that are charged on the platform, it all goes to the Zoo DAO, and the DAO eventually distribute 100% of the profits to the Zoo token holders. So that's actually what we're some of that's actually what we're not seeing with other index protocols. And I think this space will get huge in the next essentially the next cycle, because that's just how essentially how every financial market works. You have, yeah, eventually it'll move towards passives and asset management side, and then being such a scalable business as indexing, I think it's important for any of the user, the community, to be able to share the profit, use the products, and also create their own products. And end of the day, being the essentially the stakeholder of the platform. And yeah, so that's another like main vision that well, where we set out to do.
Fantastic. Lots of exciting things going on. I do want to mention for everyone listening in right now that you could, if you have any questions for Marshall, you can drop them in the community voices chat channel, or you can type them into the voice chat text channel as well. Um, and then, yeah, I'll read them out to him. And one thing that I do want to touch on a bit more is about how the security architecture is built. And do you guys have any audits? Um,
Mhm. Yes, awesome. Yeah. So the audits are coming. So that's one of the reasons we are holding off with the launch, because we want to get at least one audit out before we beta launch. Yeah. So the couple of things we want to emphasize. So one is the infrastructure that we picked token sets because they've already launched the DeFi Pulse index. They have the 2x leverage token as well, which is essentially we're doing the 3x and 5x, but the infrastructure is the same. We really like that they are very much one of the most audited and tested protocols out there. And then number two is the risk management, specifically for the Bear and the Bow token. It so essentially it because it does borrowings on Aave. So it's the biggest risk. It's that it's subject to liquidations during when the market goes against the Bear or the Bow. So what our protocol does automatically, it's two things. One is rebalancing. So when essentially when the price moves, it automatically already rebalances, so that the correct exposure, the 3x exposure or the 5x, is matched. And there's the second thing is on the downside control, the risk management. So there's a margin or liquidity price threshold tolerance that is built into our risk management. And whenever that's being approached, it'll actually downsize the leverage to be able to maintain that. And then once the thresholds it's become safe, it'll actually re-leverage. So those are actually built into the algorithm that manages it. And to take a extreme case for, let's say, the bear token during like a very awesome bull run, it's able to hold up to 100% cash to be able to withstand that. Um, and yeah, so those are the two main aspect of the security, and you'll be able to see more than one audits coming. We have a couple of more scheduling as we are getting approaching the launch. So yeah, definitely look out for that. Yeah.
Sweet. That's exciting. So, is there anything that we haven't touched on already that you want to talk about, like such as future plans for IndexZoo?
Yeah, I think right now, as many of you in the space knows that the bear market is great for building, um, but I do have lots of faith in DeFi and specifically in the indexing space. I think if you say like last year it was DeFi 2.0 after the DeFi summer, which is the 1.0, I'd say the next run for the 3.0 is going to be largely in number one, derivative trading. I've already seen some signs of that with DYDX and per protocol. And then number two would be the index space, because I think as more and more people got into the space, they're going to be looking for passive solutions like diversifications, and index tokens are perfect for that. Um, so yeah, I have lots of faith in the what's to come, and then what we're doing with obviously the building the bear and the bull product. But there's lots of exciting things that we have already announced lots of partnership with different blockchains that we're essentially building the multi-chain infrastructure today for like the future of multi-chain index investments in DeFi. Because end of the day, I think the um, uh, if you like what we want to position ourselves, even though if you look at the DeFi sectors, indexing and derivative, it's still a smaller space, but we wanted to build, say, the BlackRock for Web3, and it's completely decentralized for anyone to own, to consider you be owning to the share of BlackRock and be able to share that, that hugely scalable business. Um, yeah, so that's the I think the what we're coming and for do yeah another thing is institutional business. I think the DeFi essentially eventually the institutions will be able to not only just buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, they will be eventually get on Polygon and then just let their clients who are the the mainstreams who are the mom and pops to be able to invest directly on chain. There's already, regulations are talking to take place, from the SEC, from the CFTC. So those are exciting things. And then eventually, they'll be once they are able to do that on chain. I think that's the part of the platform that we're building. We wanted to, let them create their own products, or we have our own products and that's accessible to all the blockchains essentially. Um, yeah, so hopefully I'm not digressing too much, but yeah, and happy to answer any questions.
Oh, that's awesome. I think you guys have a really exciting value proposition and mission statement. You're bringing a lot of value to the space, and a lot of people stand to benefit from it. I think it's really cool. I don't see any questions coming in yet, but so I'll just remind everyone again, if they have any questions for Marshall, well, we're lucky enough to have him here. They can drop them in the community voices channel or the voice chat text channel. And one thing I don't know if we touched on, is there any plans for a governance token, like a zoo token? And do you guys have any plans for some kind of like DAO structure, or like, I don't know, it sounds like you have plans for this whole like permissionless token creation. Like, do you have any need for a DAO structure behind that? Like, what are your thoughts on all of that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we do um we do have it's planned, and it's actually going to be a very important aspect to realize our vision. So we are going to launch the index to IZO token. And the goal is to not just make it a governance token, but actually have the profit distribution aspect built into it. Um, and so yeah, so that's the essentially the biggest thing. And I think when we entered the space, we launched the project. That was when last year when like during the height of the bull run, the our I wouldn't say like our the biggest competitor, the index co-op. they have the DeFi Pulse Index, and it went up to like I think at the height of 300 million TVL. And we look into, and they do have their governance token. But when I look into it, the profits, and they're essentially already pulling like millions of dollars profits per year. That goes only to essentially the team. So that's actually a little bit sad when I see that. Whereas they do have the governance token, but it's really um, yeah, not doing much in terms of the economics. So that's why we wanted to do it differently. The For our competitors, it makes sense. Essentially, like 60% of the tokens are already distributed to the two main partners that are launching the project. Whereas for us, we're just much more decentralized. We had our seed round, and we had a couple rounds of investments, but those are only open to strategic partners who are going to use our products, or some key big name VCs. But other than that, we're very keen on just be able to distribute the token to early users, early community members, um, and then eventually through the DAO to distribute the profits, either through like a tokenomic mechanism, like either through like a buyback or distribution. Um, yeah, so that's the biggest thing, because we see so many of these tokens that are um, just have a great initial run for like a couple of months with lots of incentives, and then as the incentives dies down, the price kind of dies down, and the community just leave, go for another project. And then so that's why we are pretty I wouldn't say slow or like cautious in terms of launching our token. But we wanted to do it right, so we wanted to actually build some traction on our product side to show people what this is about, and then we'll do the token, and then be able to do the distribution. Yeah, so that's the on the DAO and the tokenomic side.
Fantastic. I appreciate you sharing some alpha with us there. That's all. I'm sure the audience always appreciates that as well. And I do not see any questions coming in. I feel like that's probably because you've done such a good job of explaining everything so
Yeah, no,
thoroughly
I
and in
mean,
depth. Yeah.
yeah, if you guys have any questions, you know where to find us. The Either through our Discord, Telegram as well. And Yeah, I mean, it's great hosting. Lots of great questions from you, and I think we probably covered everything. But yeah.
Are there one more thing I could ask? Is there like opportunities for the people to get involved with IndexZoo?
Mhm. Yeah, so we are actually so there's a couple of more AMAs that we're doing. We have, I think tomorrow, we're going to be part of the Aave community call as well. So if you already tuned in, definitely join our Discord, and just getting involved with our community. We're actually keeping a close eye out on our currently small but tight Discord here. And we have before the product launch, we have an NFT giveaway. So if you're interested in that, definitely be on the lookout for that. And Yeah, with the product launch very soon, we're going to announce our token whitelist program. So that would be exciting for lots of people to get involved. Um, yeah, other than that, just definitely tune in to our channels and other socials.
Perfect. Yeah. I think I've got everything in the chat here. There's the website, Telegram, Discord, Reddit, and Twitter. So everyone knows where to follow up with you guys and stay up to date. And yeah, thank you so much, Marshall. It's been amazing having you and learning
Thank you
more
for,
about Indexer. Really enjoyed this.
yeah. I mean, you guys have been quite very supportive for us, and thanks a lot.
All right. Well, since no one seems to have any more questions that they want answered. I guess it's okay to wrap things up now.
Mhm. Yep.
All right. Well, it's been fantastic chatting with you. Great meeting you. Looking forward to keeping up to date with IndexZoo, and I hope you all have an amazing day.
Thank you. Have a good day, guys.
Thanks for coming out, everybody.